to After Further Review.
What's going on, everyone? After Further Review, episode 27, and this is a special one for us, all the members of After Further Review, and that's because myself, Ben, and Chase are all in person. Benny's basement, you already know, the man cave for this episode. Chase, shout out to you for coming up. We're going golfing tomorrow. Great to have everyone in the same room for the show finally.
Yeah, I love having you guys here, and it's cool to finally do this live and all in person, so I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, so much better. I'm really happy to be here with you guys.
Oh yeah, it's super. And we got a list of things we want to go through today.
Oh yeah, tons of stuff.
Touch on the MLB, and you know who's no from last week. Basketball Hall of Fame just happened this weekend, so definitely want to touch on that, as well as a random news segment we will preview called the Raw Dog segment. Get to that later, and some current events with Benjamin. So, yeah, let's start right in, boys. Let's get after it.
You know, coming right up, we had the NBA Hall of Fame, and, you know, I saw D-Wade's speech, got kind of emotional with his dad, you know, said they're there, got in the Hall of Fame, but some other guys, you know, made it as well, pretty stacked class.
Oh, yeah, and I can just run through the list right here. Obviously, the notables, Pau Gasol, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, Jim Valvano, Dwayne Wade, and then some other names, too. You know, Jeannie Bess, Becky Hammond, David Hickson, Gary Blair. I mean, not as well known, but the NBA Hall of Fame is cool because it adds everyone. It even has the 1976 U.S. Women's Olympic team, which I don't really know much about that team, but the NBA Hall of Fame, anyone's welcome in the basketball world. And I know Ben says it's a little easier to get into, but
it is, but it's still noteworthy.
But yeah, I mean, the big four, like I said, Ben said Dwayne Wade, but Pau Gasol, Dirk Nowitzki, and Tony Parker. And I also listened, first off, Dwayne Wade was so good, and I think he got shadowed a little bit with those LeBron teams, but he was also on the team in 2006 that won it with Shaq, and basically played his entire career with Miami. I know he had a stint on the Bulls at the end, and maybe a mini stint with LeBron on the Cavs, but he was so good, and I feel like he's underrated for just, he had that money pump fake fadeaway shot, and he was a big mid-range guy when the three ball was coming into play, and he dominated. So
where is the Hall of Fame for basketball?
Does anyone know? Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it? It's not Nate. It's
It's
Springfield.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
Yeah.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That was bad. We didn't know that at the spot. But the craziest thing to me about this is, I mean, you think of the NBA, and Dwayne Wade even touched on it in his speech when he had Allen Iverson sitting with him, about how Allen Iverson changed a lot of players that didn't always have the capability to maybe make it in other areas or aspects of their life. They could turn to basketball, and they could make something out of it. And that was really cool alone. But what we do see in today's NBA that we kind of forget about is that there's a lot of foreign players that have great success, and I feel like this is the first class where we're seeing it. These are guys we grew up in. Prior to like the late 90s, early 2000s, there wasn't a lot of foreign players who would make it in the NBA, but you got Pau Gasol from Spain, Dirk Nowitzki from Germany, and Tony Parker, who he was actually raised in France. I found out he was born in Belgium. I forgot about that.
Okay.
But these are three guys that we watched dominate the league, win championships, and just pure first ballot Hall of Famers. There's no question that all these guys are on it. And this is just the start. The fact that out of U.S. players they're like, I mean, besides Dwayne Wade, they're who's highlighting this draft class, and that's something I think we're going to continue to see moving forward, even more so.
No, I agree. Especially because the game, like, the global impact of it, like, all the major stars now are almost not American, like, in a way. Like, the top of the elite, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you still have, like, your KD, LeBron, Steph Curry. Like, there's plenty of U.S. players that dominate, and it's easier to scout, right? We watched the movie Hustle, where it's a lot different ball game trying to scout players from out of here. But Greg Popovich, who's also in this class, he was one of the first. Him and those Spurs teams dominated. I mean, just Tony Parker was a big one. Manu Ginobili, You know, they even
Yeah.
got other guys, Boris DL, like players like him.
Some
Splitter.
Some of the best team
Yeah.
basketball, just like
Yeah.
playing as a unit, just like ideal basketball.
And they were able to have that success with players from all over the world,
Yeah.
not just the country. And so the fact that Greg Popovich is still coaching, by the way,
Yeah.
and he's now in the Hall of Fame. That's how old he is.
And he just got a brand new 7-foot center from France. So
Yeah.
keeping that international trend going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the biggest thing with him, as I would say Greg Popovich is like a trend center. They dominated that area. They were like the first team to incorporate the corner three. Dominated that. I mean, guys like Marco Bellinelli,
Yeah.
another foreign player who just dominated on their Spurs teams because he was able to just pop those corner threes. Just, I mean, the fact that him and Tony Parker winning together is pretty cool. If you watch Tony Parker highlights, you probably wouldn't think he's a Hall of Famer, but those Spurs teams, he was like, him, Tim Duncan, and Ginobili were like the heart of those teams. And the fact that he was the point guard for, I think, at least four of their championships. They won a total of 5, right? They had the 99, 03, 05, 07, and then the 2014 one was with Kawhi, which Parker might have been on that one too. Yeah, so
Yeah,
4
pretty sure.
championship teams.
Okay.
But
Yeah, Parker's one of those players to me that he was on a winning team, so he was good, but he's also, if he was on he reminds me of like a Mike Conley.
so you don't think he's a Hall of Famer?
I think he is because of the teams he was on and the part he played on those teams, but I don't think, like, if you just looked at his stats, I don't think he is.
Would you relate him to like a Draymond Green, who I don't think should be in, but will get in?
Yeah, it's a good comparison. Tony
Different
Parker's much
positions.
easier to like, though, too, and not be. But yeah, but Tony Parker ran that offense. That's the difference. Like he was such a big part of that team. I just don't. He never put the stats up, but he was. You could always count on him for a big shot too. So
Yeah,
I'm okay that he's in. It's just interesting.
I wonder who his similarity scores are compared to with on
Yeah.
his basketball page.
We'll have to look at that. We'll look at that after. I'm
Yeah.
curious now.
Yeah.
Question off of that, just right off the bat. Where would you guys have Dirk in your all-time list? Like top 10, top 20? Would he
I'd say
top
top
30?
20.
Top 20.
Yeah.
There's a lot that he did outside because he changed the game a lot of ways too. Because I feel like not only was he a star foreign player, but he was one of the first big guys who could shoot. And Dirk's leg pop shot with the rainbow jumper was, I mean, it was a shot for the ages. Like no one mirrors it. He only could do it. You couldn't block it, and he would be automatic with it. And so to follow you up, Ben, I'm probably putting him in my top 15. I don't think he cracks the top 10, but I'm gonna go top 15.
Yeah, I was gonna put him 10 to 15. I think I think he's a little bit underrated, just the way he carried it. Like, there's not many guys that single-handedly can carry a basketball team the way he did, and that bumps him up a few places for me.
Yeah, he first off,
Like,
he made
no second star. Like, there are not, like, I don't even think LeBron could. I don't know. It's insane. That's a crazy thing to me.
single-handedly made that franchise relevant. Mark Cuban loved him, and he played in Dallas his whole career. And if you look at their championship roster in 2011, everyone will probably be like, oh, what do you mean? You had like a big 5. But no, everyone on that team was either really young or really old. And I'll have Stat Guy pull up that roster real quick. He was the core of that 2011 team too. And I mean, it's hard when you're a one guy trying to carry your franchise to win more than one, which is why I think Luka could go that route too. If he stays in Dallas his whole life, they'll probably get one.
Yeah.
But it's hard to, run him back without like a core group of dudes. But he did in 2011 when you had the Spurs dynasty going with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Ginobili, and LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. And that 2010-2011 team, just running down the list, some notables like J.J. Barea, Corey Brewer, Caron Butler, Tyson Chandler. But then bigger names, Jason Kidd, bigger name, Shawn Marion, bigger name. Just players like that. Peja Stojakovic.
Jason Terry. He had
Jason
some
Terry.
big shots.
Yeah, so you look at the list and you're probably like, oh, no wonder they won the championship. But it's like, no.
I mean, Jason
I
Kidd was
will
also
say-
at the end of his career.
Oh, by far. I think it might have been his last stop.
If you just showed me this roster and had me guess how many wins they would have, I would say maybe 40. Based off this roster right now.
Yeah, but
they won the championship.
Yeah, 57-25.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like this is an underrated. I said Dwayne Wade was underrated. Dirk definitely is.
And it's weird to say.
Gasol is.
It's weird to say when they're all like considered all-time greats, but like
yeah. And they all played, like, it's crazy. At the same time, they were all doing their thing and making a name for themselves, standing out. Like, it's crazy how many people we just had in the last 20 years play, like, the moments now that we hold them up upon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like guys stayed healthier longer, which is weird just because I think of guys from, like, the 90s, like T-Mac. Someone like Tracy McGrady, who, if he stayed healthy, he would have been, like, an all-time great, but didn't. Or even, like, Brandon Roy.
Yeah, that's true. These players, if they weren't able to stay on the court, they didn't have enough.
You can say that about everyone, but
a bunch of point guards over the last 5 years.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's a weird class, but all much deserving players. Real quick, right now, is Dirk Nowitzki higher on your list than Kevin Garnett?
Yes.
Chase?
No, but not by much. Like 5 spots, maybe.
All right, Ben, I'm going to circle back to you.
Okay. Dirk
Nowitzki or Kevin Durant?
That's tough.
But see, the fact that you're thinking about it this long.
That's tough just because Durant's not done yet. Durant is a, like, there's nobody like Durant either who's played basketball. Like, the things that he can do at his size and the way he shoots the ball is just, he's one of a kind too. But he has not proven to be the guy on a team where he can carry a team by himself. He hasn't been able to do that, so that's why I'm so hesitant. Like, skill-wise, I feel like Durant is better than Dirk. But overall basketball, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, if Dirk doesn't have the pure athleticism that a lot of NBA players do, which makes his run even more impressive. Right. But, he's not a freak. Like, one-on-one, KD's going to destroy him.
Yeah. But if you put KD on that team, I don't think they would win. Like, if you swapped out KD for Nowitzki, even if, like, not to go back on it, but if, like, you put Garnett on that team, I don't think they would win.
Does Dirk have an MVP?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe he has one.
Okay.
Get Stat Guy on that real quick. All right, Stat Guy just came back, and yes, he does have an MVP 2006, 2007, and 4 years later when they won the championship, he won Finals MVP too, carrying that squad like we talked about. And pulling up his numbers right now for that MVP season just to see what he did.
Did you see that one question? It said, why didn't Kobe win MVP in 2006?
Classic.
Not top 5, though.
Oh, yeah, he finished first. Above Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, LeBron James, T-Mac, Chris Bosh, also on the list.
Oh, there's Baron Davis and Tony Parker and Carmelo tied for 15th.
Oh.
What are his stats, Ben?
Dirk's?
Yeah.
24.6 points per game. 8.9 rebounds.
Shot over 40% from 3. Over 90% free throw. 50-40-90 club.
Yeah. Steve Nash, .899 free throw percentage.
And just remember for all you kids out there, this was an era where this was the lowest scoring ever was in the NBA during this era.
Kobe with 31.6.
Damn, Gilbert Arenas was almost at 30 points.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Damn, Carmelo was only 22.
Yeah, him and LeBron, both 22. And Bosh.
Oh, yeah, I guess because they were all the same draft class.
Yeah. On the MVP from going from NBA, we're going to switch to a different league here. We have not touched on it much at all before.
Yeah, and so because we have never touched on this, what we're about to dive into, this is the first time we're diving into this, and for that, we are starting a brand new segment we're calling the Raw Dog segment. All natty, looking at this sport at the same time all at once, trying to figure out what the heck's going on. But I know these rosters are loaded, and yep, that's for the big 3 rosters, what I'm talking about.
All right, so first team here, we got the 3-headed monsters.
And real quick, for those of you who don't know, the big 3 started probably 4 or 5 years ago. I know Allen Iverson helped start that league as well. But there's a lot of players. If we dive into these rosters, and we'll jump team by team real quick because there's not that many teams and the rosters are tiny. But there's a lot of players you guys are about to see. Because I was watching this one day, not really knowing what was going on, but there's a lot of players you recognize.
Yeah, Rashard Lewis right off the bat for the Monsters. He was on the Magic for a while. He was a decent player.
Yeah, NBA championship, and they said 16 seasons in the NBA. I mean, scrolling down, Reggie Evans, he was a big ground and pound guy. Probably not a good big three player, I would guess, because he can't really do much besides pound you in there with his left hand. But nonetheless, he's on the three-headed monsters. All right, next squad, what we got?
We got Three's Company. Ooh.
Oh. Right off the bat, Mario Chalmers. 2 championships. He was the starting point guard on the Miami Heat teams.
Yeah, I did not realize he's from Anchorage, Alaska, by the way.
That's a trivia.
That's a good trivia
That's
question.
a great trivia.
Oh my god.
Yo.
I told you, bro. So,
Michael Beasley.
Michael Beasley from the China teams. I told you guys that. I'm telling you.
Hollis Thompson.
Yeah.
Why is this team loaded? This is the most loaded team ever.
All right, well, hold on, guys. Hold on. So we got Hollis Thompson, Tony Allen,
Bro,
Michael Beasley with Mario Chalmers. I mean, that team's got to be doing
That's what I'm
work
saying.
right now.
This is almost like the talent on this is probably minor
What's
league
the
level.
futures for Three's Company? I'm knocking it in.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, you get a squad of the big three to play a G League team, and they might win.
The aliens. All right, let's look at the aliens. Let's see what they got going on. Who we got? I don't know.
Deuce and Balut.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Alonzo Gee.
Why
I feel like
is-
he's a little familiar.
I feel like it's a little messed up that the aliens team is just all foreign.
Yeah,
All right,
they're
aliens
literally
team.
all aliens.
All right, let's see the ball hogs. Let's see the ball hogs. Who we got? Oh, there's a
Leandro
Barbosa.
Barbosa.
Brazilian Blur, Landry Barbosa.
Jeff
Ayres, I low-key remember him.
Jody
Meeks.
Meeks.
Oh,
Remember him?
Former Sixer.
Former Sixer. Oh, Rick
Rick
Barry's
Barry.
the coach of that squad.
Wow.
And a lot of the coaches are former NBA players as well. Struggle.
Gerald Green.
Oh, yeah.
Dunk contest champion.
Oh,
Corey
Brewer.
Brewer.
he looks old.
Also had a Sixers stint recently.
Well, a lot of greens on this team.
Garland.
Oh, Ryan Hollins.
Okay, Ben, no one remembers Ryan Hollins.
He was on the Sixers.
Who's their
wasn't
coach? Who's their
I don't
coach?
know.
Gary Payton, the glove.
Wasn't Ryan Hollins on the Sixers for a little while?
No.
You sure?
No.
Okay.
All right, the enemies. Oh, Swaggy P. Nick Young.
All right, we got Isaiah Austin, Elijah Stewart, Quincy Miller, and Jordan Crawford.
Oh.
With Gilbert Arenas as the coach.
It's crazy that there's this. I feel like there's not much of a fan base for the big three, but the amount of names they have alone is keeping this league alive.
Yeah, this is insane.
It's insane.
There's 12 teams. It's more than I thought.
Or the Ghost Ballers.
The
Yeah.
Ghost Ballers. Who's on the Ghost Ballers?
All right.
Not much there.
Jonathan Simmons.
Oh, he played on the Sixers a little bit.
Was that John Simmons?
No, it was Jonathan. Also on the
'cause
Spurs.
was he on the Magic too?
Yeah,
Yep.
John's.
Yeah.
Was that the same guy though?
Yeah. No,
I
no.
thought he played longer in the NBA.
No, Jonathan Simmons. I think you're thinking about something else.
I think John Simmons. No, I don't know. Okay.
George Gervin.
George Gervin. All right, not much there. We'll go to the killer threes.
Yeah, just keep diving through these.
Yeah.
We got anybody?
If we see anyone notable, we'll definitely
By the
call
way,
them out. Charles
Oakley
Oakley is the coach. So the coaches are some notable guys.
The coaches should make their own team.
Yeah, seriously. Dude is balling out at 70 years old right now. Cutino Mobley.
There's some teams.
Royce
White! Yo! What?
I can't believe he's playing basketball again. I gotta see what his stats are.
Mark down Royce White.
Royce
We'll
White.
circle back to him.
Dude, we actually talked about
Yo,
him on
we
the
talked about
podcast.
him a few times.
Yeah, he was the guy that was just, he had like,
He wouldn't travel.
Yeah, he wouldn't
with,
travel on a
air.
plane.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
but he was so
The
talented.
Sixers traded for him at one
Oh, we got a
point.
first girl coach.
Nancy Lieberman.
Hall of Fame. I'm not familiar with that.
She's probably a
I don't wanna be
WNBA.
disrespecting, yeah.
She's probably a WNBA.
The
Trailblazer.
Tri-State. Jason Richardson.
Oh, that.
He's probably pretty good. He's not too far off.
No,
From
he's,
being in the
he
NBA.
definitely dominates. That's what I'm saying. Some of these teams,
Oh, Dr.
Dr.
J.
J.
is
I
the
love it.
coach.
You gotta love it.
All right, last two here. Got the trilogy. Amir Johnson.
Oh,
I feel
Amir
like
Johnson.
that's
Yeah,
a
he was
name.
with the Sixers.
He's definitely a terrible.
Oh, Steven
Steven Jackson.
Damn, they got some good coaches though. That's for sure. Joe Johnson.
ISO
Whoa.
Joe. He is a ISO
You
Joe.
know he's cooking.
You know he cooks.
Larry Sanders. Wasn't he on the Bucks?
Oh yeah, that's the guy that Nick Young dunked over.
Oh, Lisa Leslie. Oh, she's like one of the best WNBA players of all time.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you said there's 12 teams. The league, by the way, works halfway through the season. The bottom groups get relegated.
Really?
Not relegated, but they just get eliminated from the league.
Of course, Michael Beasley has the most points. Oh, Joe.
Sorry, I went to the points per game.
Joe Johnson's still second.
Ryan Carter. What is that? Three's a company team. Wasn't that the team that we thought was stacked? Damn, that's
3 and 4.
That was a break.
The triplets were 6 and 2, and I don't think they had anyone good.
No, they had Joe Johnson.
Oh, Joe Johnson.
Literally, just
course.
their entire team is him.
Yeah.
The trilogy team is getting carried by just Steven Jackson coaching.
Yeah, Amir Johnson is a garbage Big Three player. There's no way he does anything.
All right, well, that was fun. Just looking at those rosters, definitely names I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, Big Three's still going on right now.
The aliens are dead last.
We didn't know anyone on that team. That's the other problem. I feel like if you don't know anyone on the team, you know they're going to be bad.
Yeah. Oh, Jody Meeks was up there.
Yeah, the game I watched, he was the player of the game, and they interviewed him afterwards. I
Oh,
was like,
really?
This is so weird.
Oh, my gosh.
If you would have told me like 4 years ago, I don't know, what season are they in, Ben? Can you find that real quick? Because if you would have told me like when this debuted, if it's going to make it, I'm saying no way.
Yeah, I thought it was
It's
just
been
a
a minute.
one-off
It was
thing.
before COVID.
And it's still trucking, and it still has a bunch of names. I feel like NBA players, if you still want to play basketball, this is like a good way to be. You're still with all the players. I mean, and you don't have to do the conditioning to run up and down the court because it's only half court. It's like backyard basketball. If you miss, you just have to take it outside the 3-point line. And they also have a 4-point shot too, which I didn't see many people take any of those. But
Interesting.
founded in 2017. Wow, this league is thriving.
Good for them. Got to pay some more attention to it. I know I might.
Yeah, I know
it
now, knowing the
crazy?
people.
Yeah, Royce White, I saw averaging 11.3 points per game, so he's doing some stuff.
All right, he's playing.
He's playing. So that's good. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the basketball segment. That was some fun stuff there.
First
Yeah.
ever Raw Dog. Hopefully we did well. I feel like we dove through that. We just dove right in. That was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was fun. So as we transition out of basketball, we're going to get right into baseball here. And first, I got to ask you guys, Lorenzen, no. Chase, you weren't super thrilled with the moves at the deadline. But obviously, I mean, Lorenzen has been everything you guys could possibly ask for.
Yeah, he's had his first debut, 8 innings, and now he just went with a no-hitter. And I don't know, Ryan, did you see the game at all?
Yeah, Ben and I were actually bowling at the time, and we caught.
Oh, wow.
But we didn't realize it was a no until there was one out in the ninth because we were just like looking back and
Yeah, the
forth.
game was
Yeah.
on, but we just didn't know.
We were
Yeah.
like, oh, why is he still in there when there's 100? When he's starting, he was starting the ninth, I think, at 111 pitches.
Yeah, because I looked
And we're
it
like,
up.
why would they have him come in when they're up 7-0?
There's
Yeah.
got to be something going on.
Yep.
Yeah, we're like, well, he has 4 walks, so it's not a perfect game.
Yeah. But like I joined it, I think around the 3rd or 4th inning, and at that point his pitch count was pretty high. Like you said, he had a few walks, and it didn't really dawn on me the no hit things. Like he just kept getting a lot of contact, but it was fly balls. Like he had like 14 or 15, I think, fly ball outs in that game.
Wow.
So, like, just that amount of contact, I think you get used to the fact of like, okay, one of those probably fell through, but they didn't. And then once it got up to like the 7th, 8th inning, you really started to feel it. And like his pitch count dropped, and like he was getting through the innings efficiently after that. But literally to start the game, he did not go off on, a dominant foot, I would say, to start.
Yeah. I mean, when they first got him, I knew he's probably better than Ranger Suarez. But, I mean, Taijuan Walker is having a great year. And then obviously 1 and 2 are Nolan Wheeler. So I'm like, you're thinking about a guy in a rotation. You're like, okay, he might be able, like our 4th or 5th starter, help give innings for the bullpen to not have to pitch as much as they do. And I don't know what happened, but he came over and he just had this, like, probably just so excited to get off those Tigers teams that have been struggling. And he immediately, like you said, he had an 8-inning, 2-run outing. That's a gem. In today's MLB,
Yeah.
that's a gem. And he follows it up with a 124 pitch no. And I mean, he was giving big credit to JT after the game. I know the defense, like you said, they had to do a lot of work to help him out in the field. But that's just, it's insane to me. Like, I would never have guessed. And the Phillies have been around since the 1800s. It's the 14th no-hitter of all time. We've been in our generation, Chase. I think last time was Cole Hamels in 2015. We had a Roy Halladay no in the playoffs. And he also had a perfect game. And then Cliff Lee might have had one.
I don't know, yeah.
I don't know if he did or not. But anyways, no-hitters aren't easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 8 years of Phillies baseball. That's over 1,000 games. And we haven't had anyone pitch that. And he just decides to go out and throw an insane performance. I mean...
Yeah, and it's crazy when you think of Lorenzen. I remember before the DH rule, he was like... considered as like one of the best pitching hitters. Like he didn't really have he played the outfield. He didn't even just play. He wasn't even just a pitcher. He was a reliever. Like he was not known to be that great of a pitcher. It's like his bat almost kept him around. So to see how much he's evolved too is pretty insane.
Yeah. Like, and you were saying he was a reliever, and he's only been starting for a little over a year, I think. Like he hasn't been. Actually been a starter, and that was by far his most career pitches in an outing. Over.
Yeah, I know they got him he had an 8-day rest. They actually threw in Christopher Sanchez, who got his first win of the year, so he's 1-3 now. But yeah, 8 days of rest for him. I did not realize he hasn't been a starter this long. That's definitely got to be tired. Definitely worth the 8 days off.
Yeah, and pretty crazy fact about that. So I saw only 4 pitchers have played in the majors after attending Fullerton Union High School, and now all 4 have thrown an MLB no-hitter.
What the heck?
So it's Michael Lorenzen, Walter Johnson, and then Steve Boosby and Mike Warren. They're the only 4 players from that high school to get into the majors, and all 4 of them have thrown a no-hitter.
That's insane.
Mike Warren's only was in the league for 2 years and only had 9 wins total.
one of them was
a no-hitter.
How many no-hitters all time in the MLB? Because this is 2 this year now, right?
Yeah. They seem like 1 or 2 happens a year.
It does feel like that. Yeah. It feels like, I mean, perfect game, I know it's in the 20s.
Yeah.
Right? There have not even been 30 perfect games.
No.
322.
That is not that much.
Yeah.
Think of how many games are played in a year. 322 ever, and I would guess perfect games are like 25. So Michael Lorenzen joins a very small group of pitchers.
The 2021 was the most and had 9 in 2021.
Whoa,
that's crazy.
All the pitchers probably had rest from the short season.
2 no-hitter, 2 separate times have there been 2 no-hitters on the same day.
That's ridiculous.
Damn.
But okay, so it happens, and I know nowadays the other thing we talk about, like Ben and I were like, if this was the Rays team, no way he stays in.
Oh yeah,
because of pitch count being so big. We've seen we've seen a couple team no-hitters recently. I think the Angels had one, or the team shutouts is a big deal.
How are the Angels doing?
Ben,
I'm sorry.
I'm so pissed.
They should have sold, dude.
I didn't know Trout wasn't going to play like this whole year. Freaking idiot.
Yeah.
They should have sold. Not to interrupt you. They should have sold.
But real quick, there's no way Lorenzen's going to pitch how he's pitching consistently, but the fact that he's still a new, pretty fresh starter, he could be more than a rental, Chase.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think they would be interested in keeping him around, and I think his interaction with the fans so far has been so positive that he would want to stay.
If you come in and throw a 3-inning, 8-run outing back-to-back times,
yeah, maybe not. If it's not like how Syndergaard came and he was like, okay, it's just literally just. Let's put some wooden wheels on this car and see how far we get.
Yeah. No, there's definitely some.
And the nice thing about him is in the playoffs, you could use him as a reliever.
Yeah, or a starter.
In high leverage situations, depending on, the 1 and 2 obvious guys, and from there.
Yeah, he's definitely been worth what they paid for him. So,
I
mean, he's definitely over. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think he would do any of this. I didn't think he was awful. I just didn't know how good he could be. But, I mean, he's definitely proved to a lot of people and got his name out there.
Great move. And the Phillies have not. No, this Twin series they had just lost. That was their first lost series in the month of August so far. But they're playing hot, and I mean they're in the wild card right now. And Lorenzen is already a big reason for 2 of the wins he's played in. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't have anything to talk about the Mets. They suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, did you have anything else you want to talk on baseball-wise? I mean...
No, I do know that, I don't know, we have to follow this up because they might have broken the streak, but I know the Orioles, when they were playing the Astros, they had like a 75 consecutive streak of not losing a series.
Oh my!
But I don't know if they lost the series to the Astros.
Wow.
Which was their most recent, I think.
Let's get Stack out on that real quick.
But that's crazy how bad the Orioles have been, but they didn't lose that many series over that amount of time.
Yeah, that's
so they were a
70,
scrappy team.
How many?
Crazy.
You only play what, like 50 series a year. So
basically, the entire time they were awful. They weren't losing the series though.
I will say I did see a stat from a game the other day from the Mets that they're the only MLB team in the modern era to collect 7 hits and draw 9+ walks in a 9-inning game and not score a single run.
Oofdy.
Well, the game you went to the Orioles Mets game when they lost 2-0, and I heard they got to the starter and got bases loaded, but couldn't get anyone in.
Yeah, they I think it was Pete who got into a double play. But the other thing I wanted to touch on quick with baseball.
Oh, real quick. Sorry to butt in, but they did lose that Astros series. So
it broke a streak.
But 70-some. I mean, I talk a lot of baseball with my grandpa, and his biggest thing is you win the series.
Yeah.
You win game 1, then you just have to split the next 2, and by the end of the year, you'll be in the playoffs. It's like it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Orioles legitimately winning 70-some series in a row is just insane.
I wonder how their pitching is going to hold up in the playoffs, but we'll see. I think Adley's a big factor in how the pitching's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Adley, catchers, bro. Oh my gosh,
It'll be interesting whenever they do get away from. Like whenever they go robot umps or whatever, which I'm sure they're gonna do, like it'll be interesting to see how like there's so much emphasis on framing and like catchers just like taking like it'll be interesting to see how these games are played, like how the catching position changes.
But I know that pitchers are kind of like quarterbacks in a way that when they pitch, it's like if they win, it's because of them. If they lose, it's because of them, type of deal. But catchers they might be the most important position in the majors. I mean, just the fact what Adley's doing in Baltimore, Lorenzen gave all the credit to JT and his no. So I mean, JT's been a big part to what the Phillies do. But every team, it's just crazy how much they get. Like the quarterbacks in the NFL, you don't even ever really talk about the linemen, but they're the whole reason whether they do good or. I mean, if you have protection. You have protection. Mm-hmm. You can do anything. So, but we'll see.
And speaking of catchers, one thing I just wanted to point out, I talked about that guy Ethan Salas a while ago. He's a Padres catcher who was super young and
16?
started in spring training. Yeah, well, he's 17 now.
He's getting up there.
But he got promoted to High A at 17, and he is now the youngest ever. He's a top 5 prospect in all of baseball on MLB Pipeline.
Whoa.
So he is now a top 5 prospect in High A at 17. And he hit I think he hit 285, 290 in Single A and got promoted. So just the trajectory on that guy is just absurd. Like you're looking at a Juan Soto type debut at some point, I'm sure.
Real quick, 2 questions. One, where is he from?
No, he was signed as an international prospect for a bunch of money.
Isn't there... I thought we talked about how like a lot of times Japanese players don't come over right away. I didn't know if it was harder because the other thing I was going to ask
is
a different
they have international signing bonus, but it's not for it's like Dominican Republic and Venezuela, and like there's a signing structure. Like they sign guys all the time for like 16. Like
it's like the reverse.
Yeah,
like they sign them
like
so
Fernando
young.
Tatis. Acuna, all those guys. It's the same. They were not drafted. They were part of that.
So my follow-up. Oh, so they never even got drafted?
No,
they just signed them.
I'm trying. There's like a lot of those guys.
Mostly
you sign them before you don't.
Luis Robert.
You don't even know what they are. Like you have an idea, but you have no idea.
Yep, Wander Franco.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even have to go through the draft.
Nope. But I mean, they're paying these guys they're paying these 16-year-olds, like some of the top guys, like $7 million bonus on this 16-year-old that may or may not pan out.
Yeah.
Well, that's what my second question then was going to be, like, he was 16, now 17. Is he still in high school, or is he just, because isn't that sketchy to drop? I mean, I guess if
he could have just got his GED, too. Like, I know a lot of people do that. Like, for a year early, just get your GED, and then...
Yeah, so Venezuela, $5.6 million bonus, which...
What the heck?
Dang.
But that's what the top guys get, though. Like, the top international guys.
I could literally retire at age 7. If I had that much money at age 17, I wouldn't have to work a day in my life.
He's literally in high A and 10 years younger than us.
How is he 17 and he just made $5.6 million and he's like 4 leagues down from the majors?
But all the top guys, that's how they get a lot. There's a big emphasis on that.
Yeah.
How much money you see with like NFL and NBA contracts and how less popular baseball is nowadays, it's crazy how much money they still have.
But that's a top guy. It's like...
But Ben, that's like 4 leagues down. That's crazy.
Yeah, but you're banking then the Braves, they got Acuna,
but
all
that's
these
just insane.
Yeah, but that's it's a risk reward. The ceiling is so high and the floor is really low.
It's crazy.
You'll have guys that don't come out of the DSL league, and you'll have guys that a balloon. Francisco Alvarez for the Mets. They signed him as a gigantic. He was a gigantic one at 16.
I was gonna say though, in hockey, if you get paid $5.6 million, you're like a team star. You're like one of your top 6 players is making $5 million.
Different money.
So different.
That's crazy.
If you're making $10 million, you're a superstar in the NHL. That's like Kane level money.
Yeah.
Dang.
Crosby, yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. I know there's money in baseball, but I guess it's safer money too. Like NFL, like now the big thing is guaranteed money for quarterbacks is being handed out, but a lot more injuries can still happen. Whereas baseball, you have more security. But a 17-year-old dude from a different country, $5.6 million to play in your 4th best league is just, I'm mind blown right now.
Baseball might rival soccer in that, like, giving younger people so much money.
That's true.
At such a young age. Like, I think those two might be, like, the two you could compare.
That was good. Ben, I like that you keep touching on him. Keep bringing him up. I like that AFR has been following him. We'll have to throw some stuff on our socials.
Yeah.
About him too.
Doesn't have any cards, but they're going to be hell of expensive whenever they come out. I'll tell you that. Because all those guys are always more expensive than the major leaguers. That's how it works. So as we're getting towards the end here, we're going to get into just a couple just random topics, and I just want to get your guys' opinion on it. All right?
So is this a current events by Benjamin segment?
Sure.
All right.
This is not all current events.
Stay tuned for events that may or may not be current from Benjamin. All right, Ben, you're good.
All right.
I introduced it myself. No music needed.
Instant reaction. DR.J gave his top 10 players of all time in no order. And here they are.
No order?
No order. Top 10 players of all time by DR.J. Bill Russell.
Wait. Go one by one and I'll agree or disagree.
Bill Russell.
Yes.
Will Chamberlain.
Yes.
Oscar Robertson.
Yes.
Jerry West.
Yes.
Elgin Baylor.
No.
I don't know.
Kareem.
Yes.
MJ.
Yes.
Magic.
Yes.
Karl Malone.
No.
Tiny Archibald.
Bro, hold up. No, real quick. I'm not even joking.
Why did he just tag his own list so he could just put his own name on there?
I don't know.
Not even joking. I made my top 10.
Didn't we make one?
Yeah, but this is a few years ago. I bet you I'm matching at least 7 of those.
Tiny Archibald.
I mean, you gotta put LeBron.
All right, 2019. 2019, I made this list.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ryan's top 10 NBA players of all time right here.
From 2019.
Is this in order?
But let me know if, this is in, I'll go 10 to first.
Okay.
But you let me know if these players are on Dr. J's
will.
list and count them.
Okay.
Jerry West.
Yes.
Oscar Robertson.
Yes.
Larry Bird.
No.
I have him at 8-hole. Tim Duncan.
Nope.
Magic.
Yes.
MJ.
Yes.
LeBron.
No.
Kareem.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Will.
7.
Dang.
Okay, Magic.
All right.
Okay, Dr. J, I see you. Let's get together in some time and have some tea and talk about these 7 great players we both have in our top 10.
Yeah.
He has nobody current.
Nope. No one current.
That's such a doctor. He probably also just dumped on Embiid and then gave that list.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So another.
The only one on there that really is bad that he doesn't have is LeBron.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, again, you could think of whatever you want with LeBron, but at this point,
Stats wise, you can't
he's top
argue.
10.
Yeah.
Wait, real quick. I love that he doesn't have Kobe Bryant on that list. So overrated. Shaq's better than him.
I can't believe I would have Shaq in my top 10 personally.
I know you do.
You don't? He's 11 for you, right?
Yeah,
like
I think
12.
he's like 11.
11 or 12.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
And Dirk's in there too.
All right. Well, LeBron, speaking of him, he's entering his 21st NBA season now. And I just wanted to look at the most points per game by a player in their 21st season. All right.
Okay.
So we got number 1, Vince Carter at 7.4 points per game.
I think he can beat that.
Dirk at 7.3. And then third is Robert Parrish at 3.7.
Holy
So
smokes.
LeBron's about to destroy this record.
So
year.
as long as he goes over 7.4, he'll have the record for 21st season.
This is why he has the most points of all time, by the way.
Yes.
Like, when you look at it like that, can you look at the last season's list? Players who've entered their 20th season, how easy is that going to be to find stat guy?
It's probably now going to be LeBron number 1. 30 points per game. Everyone else, 10.
This is like that NFL receiving stat over 40.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Jerry Rice and then nobody else.
So Kobe's in second at 17.6 points per game. In age 20.
And how many did LeBron have?
27.
Whoa.
Literally.
Dirk at 12, Kareem at 10, and then after that, the next one's KG at 6.
I will say, like, so KG and Dirk, no, because towards the end of their careers, there was more points. That 2000s era.
I mean, the top 10 list, like when you get to number 9, is Parrish again at 3.9. Like it just.
So
LeBron's easily going to get 25 then this year.
Yeah, 27.
I wonder, Robert Parrish is probably like Cal Ripken Jr., where he was probably out there playing every game and not producing anything for his team.
I mean, at least he was playing and not being Udonis Haslem and just being on the straight bench.
It's true.
And just collecting minutes, no points.
All right, well, so the NBA, so a couple neat things there. But one, I wanted to see what you guys saw. So NFL, we kind of know that running backs are kind of have a short life expectancy, right?
Yes.
But 2016 NFL leading rushers, none of the top 9, are with a team right now.
Wait, so the top 10 leading rushers in the NFL, there's only one that's on a team right now?
Is Melvin Gordon on a team? Did he find a team?
He's with the Ravens.
He's number 10, and so he's the only one. You got number 1 at Zeke.
Okay.
LeGarrette Blunt.
David the Blunt.
David Johnson.
Oh.
Okay. Wasn't he with the team?
Wait, David Johnson?
Is he with a team?
I thought he was with the Texans.
I think he has a team this.
Oh, he might have been a free agent.
I think he's still a free agent.
Probably.
So you went Zeke, LeGarrette Blunt, David Johnson. Who you got after that?
David Johnson signed with the Saints practice squad team a day ago.
That doesn't count. Yeah. That's nothing.
That sounds like
so he's on the Saints.
Cut in 2 weeks.
Yeah. DeMarco Murray, Todd Gurley, Lamar Miller, Frank Gore, Le'Veon Bell, and Jay Ajayi.
Okay, on that list though, Frank Gore, he was a very durable running back, and he was old at that point.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But like I would say, I don't know. Zeke's a big one.
Zeke's probably going to get signed.
Yeah, he'll get signed.
Same with like Dalvin Cook. But it's just weird. It's just crazy that some of these running backs.
Zeke's a big one. That was his rookie year.
I went down the list.
Le'Veon Bell. That's a big one for him. He was insanely good. And
I went down the list on guys who were kind of younger still at that time. And like Carlos Hyde. Like he had like 2 good years and then was just out.
The problem... This is where it gets sketchy with the NFL, I think, is because it's almost like because there's plenty of great running backs, but it's a brutal position, and I think the NFL they almost have it so that they burn these running backs out before it's time for a payday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I know Derrick Henry and a lot of them are mad because guys like Tony Pollard and Saquon got franchise tagged. There's situations like the Le'Veon Bell one. Sorry, Ben, but that was the Jets, that fat 4-year deal they gave him. Those are the reasons why they're not getting paydays. But I think that they're just as important as any other position. If you have a good running back, I mean, like a good wide receiver helps you win. But if you have a good quarterback and a good running back, you can win in a championship.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it's also a product of football. I mean, these guys that play 4 years of college and just get, like, they have lots of miles on them by the time they get to the NFL.
Well, yeah, especially because you're right. In college, they really, if you have a good running back, like Saquon gave Saquon the ball every time.
Yeah. Like Gurley, too. I remember, he was a workhorse in college. Yeah. So it just, it's almost like with pitchers and too, like by the time they need Tommy John first year.
Yeah. And Derrick Henry was the only one that had not gotten injured, and the only reason he probably did was because they literally would give him like 35 touches a game.
Well, and he's different because he's just so massive. Yeah. Like his body's not maybe taking the brunt that some of these other guys are.
By the way, hate all you want on J.J., but he helped the Eagles win a Super Bowl, so.
Yeah.
The Dolphins were like, oh, we'll give you him for like a 4th-round draft pick because he's shot, and then he literally helps us win.
He's fine. It's Jordan Howard I have the issue with. I don't mind J.J. Jordan Howard can come on this podcast and talk to me. Oh my God. All right. Well, last stat here, and this is going to be just kind of a mine. Hope you guys enjoy just a quick little kind of weird stats, weird facts, just to wrap us up.
All right.
So you guys ready?
Roll them.
Who, since 2017, leads the Marlins in home runs?
Since 2017.
Since 2017. Who's at the most home runs for the Marlins in that time?
I'm gonna guess Marcelo Zuna.
I'm gonna say an off the wall pick, but I'm gonna say Yelich.
It is Giancarlo Stanton.
Dang it!
All right, same line though.
Yeah. Why didn't we either of us pick him?
But Giancarlo Stanton, that was his last year as with the Marlins.
Was that when he hit
59?
Yeah.
And that is the most home runs since 2017 in a 6-year
and
now
their
span.
park isn't even that big. I mean, it's big, but it wasn't as big as it was.
Yeah, I thought they shrunk it a little bit.
Yeah, they shrunk it.
And the top 3 are not on the team anymore, so the current active player who's still on the team is Jazz Chisholm with 45. He's got 14 more to go.
Oh my gosh! So that record's gonna stay intact this year.
Yeah. It was crazy because his last season, and
how are
the
they
Marlins
winning?
just don't they got like Larissa Arias and just like not guys who hit home runs.
Oh, I saw that Arias is batting over 400 at home.
Really, dude? We won't talk about it. Freddie Freeman, dude, he has just turned it on, and he has a chance to take the MVP from Acuna.
Yeah,
to say that.
That's insane.
It's just crazy that the Braves can just get rid of Freeman and then have Matt Olson.
Yeah, who also is just pumping
it's
out.
It shouldn't be even fair.
Yeah. I hate the Braves.
I hate the Braves.
Screw the Braves.
My God, I hate the Braves.
All right, well,
I really hate the Braves.
On that note, I think we all agree that we don't like the Braves.
Yeah.
So, hope you guys enjoyed this podcast live here from the basement. It was a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. We got to get together more often. I think this was our most fluent one yet, and it was a lot of fun. Chase, thanks for making the trip up, and hopefully we can shoot under par tomorrow.
That's the goal. Well, I'll let you guys know in the next podcast how we did. Don't forget to look us up on Instagram, YouTube, all the social, Spotify, and we'll next time we'll see you guys soon.